Hey y'all, this is my guinea pig, friend, Lee, and she's never sat down at a sock knitting machine before. So I thought, hey man, what a better opportunity than to show you guys how it really is. Because when I do something, I make it look so easy. So I'm going to get my mess out of her way. All right. And what you're going to do, this is called the setup bonnet. Okay. And you're going to set that down into the machine just like so. All right. So far, you're doing a fantastic job. Now, do you see those standing loops? The loops, yes, those guys. Okay, if they weren't standing up already, like if you got a brand new setup on it and somebody hadn't used it yet, the loops would be the bars in between the points. Okay, yeah, right there, those things. All right, so you're going to hang a loop on about every other needle. And it doesn't really matter where you start, but once you get to where you're trying to hang stuff behind the yarn carrier, which is this thing right here, and where the needles are down in the cylinder, you can't reach. So you probably want to start right here in front of the yarn carrier, and this is not an exact science. You don't have to have a perfect cast on. I never even knew there was such thing, and I've been doing this for 10 years until I saw somebody post a picture of a perfect cast on. I'm like, what? Now, just so you know, Lee is a get her done right girl. You guys who know me, you know I'm a get her done girl. And she's watched videos. I don't think she studied them because she's a get her done right girl. So if she decides she wanted like one of these machines, she would study and make a perfect sock, and we'd all hate her for it. But she hasn't had the opportunity to do that sort of thing yet. So, Lee, when you start working on this machine, there you go, keep going. You might have to skip one and make it every third. It's okay. Okay, so now you're to where those cylinder needles are down inside the cylinder and you can't reach them. So what we're going to have to do, casting on is a two-step process. So now you're going to have to thread your yarn. Now, I am setting you up for success by giving you a cone of yarn. And this is so important when you're starting out. The yarn has to twirl freely into the machine. And so to thread it, it's kind of like a sewing machine. You follow the path that goes through these two bars, under that bar, around through the pigtail, okay, and down through the center hole, down through the hole in the light. Now you're going to put it through here, and that's all slotted. And you want the tail to be down in the center of the cylinder. I did that very same thing where I threaded my tail and not my cone of yarn the other day, and I had to start all over. It was crazy. Okay, and you just drop that down in there. Okay, now a stitch is formed by putting downward pressure on the yarn. So if you pull down on this guy right here, the setup bonnet, go pull down from the other, down underneath there. You're going to pull down, and then you're going to crank forward. And that would be away from your body. And you're going to crank until you get about right here. Okay, now let go and finish hanging your loops. Now, I'm just going to say this about that. You know Ron, who does the filming at Sock TV? After 8 years, one day his cameras wouldn't work, so I did a YouTube live, and he had to knit, and he had to cast on, and getting him to this point took like 20 minutes. I'm not kidding. It was just the funniest thing. So now you can take this weight, and when you hang it on the bottom of the setup bonnet, this one has a hook on the bottom, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Or ring. Okay, when you hang it on the setup bonnet, yep, you can just let her go. And now you're going to continue cranking forward. Now, the funny thing about this is you'll hear people refer to it as cranking forward or crank it reverse, okay? We don't hardly ever use, keep going, you're not going to tear it up. We don't hardly ever use clockwise and counterclockwise, and that is because if you'll notice, you're cranking clockwise and the yarn carrier is going counterclockwise. So it gets very confusing. Now see, as you go, that's going to repair itself. That one over here with these 2 stitches over here, that's going to, as you keep cranking, just keep cranking, that's going to repair itself. But it doesn't want to because the latch is closed on that needle. So you need to open that latch. You see it? Yep. Now crank by it. And ta-da! It fixed itself. Now, oh, you had another one that we couldn't see. Smarty had a party over there. She's an engineer. Uh-oh, I don't know what's going on there. Uh-oh, we might have a bad needle. Crank by it again. Now, don't ever go backwards because that caused this stitch to drop. And there's no reason at this point why some of the needles have red tops. Okay, these are just some of my needles that I use marked needles occasionally. And that's how I mark my needles. I paint the tops of them with red nail polish. Okay, so they're still not catching that one in the front. So what I want you to do is open that latch and take this tool and place, this is called a bar. So put a bar over there. Okay, now you have another one over here that we can't see. No, it's fixing itself now. She's not really a mute.
Focused.
You're focused. Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's make a sock, Lee. No, I'm kidding. You've got a lot more stuff to learn.
I have one in my socks.
Yes, those you can wear them on Sunday since they're so holy. How about that?
I'm impressed.
You did it. It wasn't even hard.
She can be taught.
She can. And once you get cast on and all of your knitting is going well, it'll be time to change to project yarn. Which we can do that on another video if you want. All right. Thanks for joining us today, live on CSM Supplies. I hope you learned something. Thanks, Lee, for being my guinea pig.